Hi, my name is Mohammad Rizwan Rosali and welcome to the presentation of Piaget's Stages of Cognitive Development of the Subject Child Psychology ABPD 1203. Today, we will explore the core premises, key characteristics, criticism, as well as the contribution of Jean Piaget's theory to our understanding of child development. Before we dive further into this topic, let's get to know a little bit about Jean Piaget himself. He was born on August 9, 1896 in Neuchâtel, Switzerland. He was a pioneering psychologist renowned for his work in child development and cognitive psychology. During the 1920s, Piaget conducted research on children's cognitive development while working at the Binet Institute. He observed how children's responses to questions differed from those of adults, leading him to conclude that children's thinking processes were fundamentally different from adults. In 1923, Piaget married Valentine Châtenay, and they later had 3 children, who became subject of his research. His observation of his own children, along with extensive studies and interviews with other children, formed the basis of his groundbreaking theories on cognitive development. Jean Piaget's contribution to psychology and education are immense, and his work remains influential in shaping our understanding of child development and learning. He passed away on September 16, 1980, leaving behind a rich legacy of research and scholarship that continues to inspire psychologists, educators, and researchers worldwide. Now, what is the core premise of Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development? Piaget introduced active construction of understanding. He proposed that children are not passive recipients of knowledge, but actively engaged in constructing the understanding of the world. This process involved the child interaction with the environment, including objects, people, and experiences. Through this interaction, children actively explore, manipulate, and make sense of the world around them. For example, in the sensory motor stage, infants explore the world through sensory experiences and motor action. For instance, a baby might shake a rattle to see and hear the sound it makes, thus actively engaging with the object to understand its properties and effect. Another core premise of Piaget's cognitive development is assimilation, accommodation, and equilibration. Assimilation is the process involves incorporating new information or experiences into existing mental schema or cognitive structures. In other words, children interpret new experiences based on their existing understanding of the world. For example, a child who has a schema for a dog may initially call all four-legged animals dog until they learn to differentiate between dogs, cats, and other animals based on specific characteristics. Meanwhile, for accommodation, it occurs when existing schema or cognitive structures are modified or adjusted to fit new information or experiences that cannot be assimilated. It involves changing one's understanding of the world to accommodate new information. For example, if a child's existing schema for a bird includes only flying animals, they may need to accommodate their schema to include penguins, which are birds that do not fly. Now, let's move on to equilibration. It is the process of balancing assimilation and accommodation to achieve a state of cognitive equilibrium or balance. When new information is assimilated or accommodated successfully, cognitive equilibrium is achieved. However, when there's a significant discrepancy between existing schema and new experiences, this equilibrium occurs, prompting the child to modify their understanding to restore equilibrium. As the bird penguin example that I talked about just now, a child seeing a penguin for the first time may experience this equilibrium in the understanding of birds. They might expect all birds to have wings capable of flying. As the child learns more about penguins through observation, interaction, and possibly educational materials, they engage in accommodation. The child adjusts their schema of birds to include penguins, achieving cognitive equilibrium in their understanding of avian diversity. What are the key characteristics of Piaget's theory? Piaget identified 4 distinct stages of cognitive development, each characterized by specific cognitive abilities and limitations. Each stage represents a qualitative shift in the child's thinking and understanding of the world. In the sensory motor stage, birth to about 2 years old, infants learn about the world through sensory experiences and motor actions. they develop object permanence, the understanding that objects continue to exist even when they are out of sight. During the pre-operational stage, from 2 to 7 years old, it is characterized by the development of language and symbolic thinking. Children in this stage engage in pretend play and begin to use symbols to represent objects and ideas. However, they struggle with concepts like conservation and egocentrism, where they have difficulty understanding that others may have different perspectives. For the concrete operational stage, from 7 to 11 years old, it marks a period of more logical and organized thinking. Children develop the ability to perform mental operations and understand concepts like conservation and reversibility. They can manipulate concrete objects and understand relationships between them. Finally, in the formal operational stage, adolescent and beyond, individuals become capable of abstract and hypothetical thinking. They can reason logically about abstract concepts and engage in deductive reasoning. And now, let's discover what are some criticisms of Piaget's theory. One of the critics is Piaget underestimated the children's abilities at younger ages. Critics argue that the cognitive abilities of young children might actually be more capable of understanding certain concepts earlier than what he proposed. Next is cultural and social factors not adequately considered. Piaget's theory is criticized for its limited consideration of cultural and social influences on cognitive development, as these factors can significantly impact a child's learning and problem-solving strategies. Apart from that, Piaget's theory overlooks individuals' variation in cognitive development and does not sufficiently address the role of language in shaping thought processes. Well, despite this criticism, how has Piaget's theory contributed to our understanding of child development? One of the contributions is Piaget's theory highlights the importance of children's active engagement and exploration in the learning process, which has implications for educational practices and curriculum development. Piaget's stage theory also offers a valuable framework for educators, psychologists, and parents to understand the sequential nature of cognitive development and tailor educational experiences accordingly. Besides that, Piaget's research has sparked extensive research in child psychology and education, shaping instructional methods and curriculum design globally. And lastly, Piaget's work stimulated research and influenced educational practices worldwide. Now, we have come towards almost the end of the presentation. All in all, I can conclude that Piaget's stages of cognitive development remain influential in the field of child psychology. While criticism exists, his theory has significantly contributed to our understanding of how children think and learn. Piaget's theory has definitely provided valuable insight into the cognitive processes underlying children's learning and development. With that, thank you for your attention, and questions or comments are most welcome.